Good morning, Tubos. So here we are back into the barren wasteland of Fallout 4, and this time around I'm going to be doing a pretty in-depth crafting guide for you. So crafting is a major part of this game. It's easy, it's good, it's worth doing, I promise you. I'm not usually one for making all the crafting stuff and all the rest of it. I usually run off and try and find stuff, but instead, because this game makes it so easy and rewarding, it's definitely worth doing. So here I am back in Sanctuary, where you've already got a weapons workbench, a armor workbench and a power armor workbench already set up. There's also a cooking station literally just a little run down the hill, which I'll show you in a little bit. Chemistry station, I haven't actually got one of those set up yet, but that's going to be happening pretty soon. What you need to get for building your own crafting stations and everything is the local leader perk, which I'll show you where it is on the perk tree right at the end of this video. But for now, I want to go through all of the different workbenches in turn, what you need to actually do, how you can actually go about sorting out your weapons, modifying everything and all the rest of it. So this is just me showing you in Sanctuary exactly where your workbenches are. They're all formulated around this central house here. I have already done a building guide, so I'm not going to be covering that workbench in this one. I'll put a link on the description or on the video for you right now, so just click that one. That will take you into that other workshop bench there and how to use that one. This video is literally all about the crafting of weapons, armor, power armor, cooking and all the rest of it. So first things first, every time you come in to base, store all your crap. That will be making sure that you've got enough weight in your inventory to work with. So these are all the weapons. Now the ones with a heart symbol are actually quick slotted or favorited weapons, which I showed you how to do in the top 12 tips video. So go back and have a look at it if you're not sure how to do that. So first things first, what you need to do is run around, pick up every single weapon, bit of armor you can find, come back and just scrap it. When you hit the scrap button, it will come up telling you exactly what you're going to be getting from scrapping that certain item. This is a good way of getting loads of resources early. Literally run around, find everything and you just scrap it and get loads of resources. Going into the actual modify section of the menu, now each weapon will have a list of different options which are then sub options into something else. So going into the stocks here, I can make a short, a full and a marksman's, but because of the complexity of the modification, it actually requires a different perk on the right there. If you start making some quite advanced stuff, it actually changes the name up at the top, but you can actually change all this yourself if you don't like the name at all, so don't worry too much about that. So for this marksman's stock, I need the gun nut rank 2 perk, which is highlighted on the right there. Now I always what was I going to say? No, I make sure whenever I come in, all the highlighted options are ones that you can craft, all the ones that are grayed out are ones that you can't. Changing your weapon, modifying your weapon will modify and change all your different stats on the left here. So you've got your damage, your weight, your fire rate, obviously higher the better, range, higher the better, accuracy, higher the better, weight, lower the better, and value, higher the better. So damage and ammo type, fairly self-explanatory. Fire rate is how fast you can fire, range is how far, accuracy is obviously how well you're going to be able to hit something. Weight, obviously the less weight, the less room it's taken up in your inventory as well, so bear that in mind. If you're running around with a really heavy weapon, it might be an idea to get that as light as you can, really, by modifying it. So each of the different modifications require a different set of actual resources, which are displayed on the right there as you're going down. Now I was trying to find one that was actually grayed out for me because I've been on quite a resource hunt at the minute. It was quite difficult to find one, but here I haven't actually got enough fiber optics to make this scope, nor do I actually have the perks to make it, but that's how they actually highlight what you have and haven't got. So obviously the big number on the left of the resources is the amount you have. The little number on the right is how many you will need to use to make whatever modification you're currently pointing at. So easy to use, so self-explanatory. Once you start doing it a couple of times, it will become second nature to you. Definitely worth doing though, because you can make some pretty decent upgrades pretty early in the game, which is obviously going to be a massive help to you, especially if you're running around melee style. It's going to be a massive help to you. So moving over to the power armor. I'm not sure where I was running to when I was doing this bit, but we'll run over to the power armor. So at the power armor station, again, you can transfer all your crap in. Go into your modify menu. This will modify all the different parts on your power armor. Your power armor is actually split into 6 different parts. I haven't actually got a right leg at the minute for whatever reason, but it's the same again. Go into each different part, you can modify it. You can actually put different paint schemes on them as well, which you can unlock by finding books out in the wilderness. So keep an eye out for those, because they will unlock some pretty cool paint schemes for your power armor. And also change the different model types, so how it looks, and all your different statistics on the left there again as well. So pretty much the same, to be honest. What I do want to show you though is how to actually change the bits of armor and how to put in a new fusion core and everything. So you don't actually click on the stand, you go over and click on the actual bit of armor and press R. Here you can actually change all the different bits of armor if you've picked up any, so you can swap them out and that will change the actual look of the suit, all the stats and everything as well. You've also got your fusion cores, which you'll start off with one which is quite low and will run out pretty quick. You find loads and loads of different fusion cores all around the map, so what you need to do is go into your transfer menu on the power armor, press E on the new fusion core. After a little animation of him getting stuck on the front of it, he'll find his way around the back of the power armor eventually and stick the new fusion core in. So you are ready to rock and or roll with your new fusion core. There is a perk that actually extends the life of these, so if you are finding that your fusion cores are running out pretty quickly, just pick that perk up. That's the best way of doing it. So moving on to the armor, this is where you're going to be getting a lot of resources very quickly, because a lot of people drop different parts of armor, so they'll drop one of the 6 actual body part armors. So you can pick these up, scrap them, get loads of resources from them. It's the best way of doing it. Just be wary though that some of these do weigh a fair amount, and if you've picked up like 10 metal left arms, it does start to get really heavy for you. Some bits of armor, which I found out as I got naked, you can't actually modify at all. Some you can. If you find that you can't modify your bit of armor, try taking it off first, see if that's changed anything. If not, then that's a piece of armor that you can't actually modify for whatever reason. Armor, weapons, all the crap that you don't actually need, that isn't allowing you to scrap, but you want to keep, just make sure you chuck it into your workshop, get rid of it, get it out of your inventory, because then you're going to be saving yourself space. Obviously then you can go out into the wilderness, pick up a bit more stuff, bring it back, transfer it over, scrap it, whatever. So I'm just running down to the cooking station, which is literally just past this scrapped house here, just with this blue house down by the bridge. And this is where you cook all your meats and everything. Really important to cook food. You can use food raw, but it will give you a lot of radiation very quickly, especially if you're relying on it. It will give you a lot of radiation very quickly. If you do need it because you run out of stim packs, obviously use it, because health is far more important. Just deal with the radiation later. But if you can, cook up loads of meat, so you've always got meat to eat that's been cooked, because not only does it restore more health and not give you radiation poisoning, it also, some of it also does different stats. It does things to your different stats and everything, so definitely worth doing. You get a load of experience as well, as you can see on the left here, especially if you've ranked up your intelligence stat. It will give you a lot of experience very quickly, especially if you stood here for a little while cooking meats over and over again. You'll get tons and tons of experience, so it's definitely worth the doing. I cannot stress how important cooking meat is. A lot of people don't bother with it. I don't usually bother personally, but with this one I found it's definitely worth doing, because even though there's a fair amount of stim packs around in the world, you do run out of them really quick. really quick, so it's worth having a load of cooked meat on you. Just come back every time you come into town, just come down into the cooking station. Once you get your local leader perk, you can set a cooking station up right beside your actual main like centre of town anyway. But for now, just come down here, run around, just see if you can cook stuff. If you can, cook it, and it's only going to be more beneficial for you later in the game. So that is all the cooking and all the craft stations that are currently set up in the town. Like I said, if you want to set ones up, you need the local leader perk, but I'll show you all the perks later on. What I'm going to do now though is try and find a chemistry station, and I will catch up with you in a second. So here we are at a chemistry station. So this is the last crafting station I want to show you. This is where you do all your different kinds of things, like your healing, your mines, grenades, all that kind of fun stuff. I don't want to look around at this point of the video because where I am, it would actually ruin part of the story for you, so I'm not looking around on purpose. I just want to keep looking at the station because I obviously don't want to wreck the game for you. That's the reason why I'm just staring at the wall and the station. But these are dotted all around the world. There is not one in Sanctuary, or not one I've found anyway, but there are loads and loads dotted around the world. Obviously, when you get your local leader perk, set one up, and it's only going to be right there when you need it in your Sanctuary. So drugs are the first thing available to you. Make these, use these. They give you a massive boost to some of your stats, and they help out massively if you are getting stuck on different quests, different things to kill. They will give you a temporary boost, anything from like 10 seconds up to 10 minutes. There's quite a range of different drugs and what they can do for you. Now, some of these are also required for quests as well, so it may actually be easier finding resources and a table to actually make the drug than actually finding the drug itself for a quest, because sometimes you just cannot find any of these anywhere. When you're running around normally, you'll come across loads of them when you don't want them. When you actually do want them, you never seem to be able to find them. So it might just be worth just getting the resources to come and actually make them at the table yourself. So all these are the different grenades you can make. Obviously different perks are required here. Then you got all your healing stuff. Radaways I keep running out of, so I keep having to make radaways. You've got mines, syringe ammo, and then you've got your utility as well. Loads of different options in here, but definitely make use of it. So what I'm going to do is show you all the perks and everything, last but not least. Now, there's quite a few perks in here, and some of them you just need to have to be able to do anything decent, to be honest, on the crafting table. Which you can do decent up to a certain point, but then when you get to a certain point in the game, you obviously need to start unlocking some of these different perks. So the first two are in 3 strength and 3 intelligence. In the intelligence you've got your gun nut, and in the strength you've got your armor. So obviously these are the perks that allow you to start building rank 1 modifications for those different things. For strength you get the blacksmith, which is exactly the same but for melee weapon perks, so definitely worth doing. Once you start getting higher levels as well, you can obviously increase these further and further, and these will give you access to more and better and powerful modifications that you can actually build for your weapons or your armors. Now your local leader perk is a pain in the ass to get because it's right down number 6 in charisma, so it's really far down in the charisma tree. But if you're looking at building up your town and you're looking at getting into the crafting really badly, you need to have the local leader, so you've just got to get to it. Put loads of points into your charisma, get down there, unlock local leader, and you'll be happy as Larry. I'm probably going to go for the science one after I unlock the local leader perk, because this one then starts giving you actually access to like higher advanced technological mods. So there's loads and loads of different ones in here. Just have a good look around. If you're getting into your crafting big, then just have a good look at the perk tree. But that is it really. I hope I've covered everything. If I haven't and you've managed to figure out something I haven't, then stick it in the comments below. Let people know. That would be fan-dubitastic of you. If you could like the video, share it around to your friends, subscribe, all that fan-dubitastic stuff, that would be awesome of you. I hope this guide has helped you in some way or another. But as always guys, thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.